it matters whose name comes first in the show. So that has been something that you have cared about. I have never cared about that.
No, you literally made me shake your hand on it.
Are you sure?
And you do this bit. Dominique always does this bit because there were a couple of times, 10 years in radio, where Dominique would come in, like to host a show with me on Christmas or something like that, Christmas Eve. And she did this bit where she'd be like a radio jingle, right? Like, Dom and Kolter in the morning. So like, yeah, I think it matters a little bit to you. Welcome to Playing House, a podcast about keeping your relationship sexy and secure. I am the goated, the throated Kolter Bouchard.
And I am Dominique Bouchard, and we were a real couple having real conversations, inviting you in as our third.
Sounds like you might be throated too.
Shout out to Meg.
On today's episode, celebrating 1 year of Playing House. Hey! From hood twins to hair transplants. And 47 episodes and 1 year, we did it.
If you would have told me 1 year ago that the love of my life... No, but truly, when you approached me a year ago and said, like, listen, this video I have of us is taking off. There's like, you invited me to create this because you started creating TikToks that actually like would show glimpses of me. Like, I wouldn't have...
Just a peek.
Yeah, I wouldn't have like a lot of...
snack, you know?
I wouldn't have a lot of like lines, for example, or just like be a part of it too much because I didn't want to be. And you're like, let's try this. I've heard, like it's picking up. People seem to want to know more about us. I think there's opportunity here. And I was like, I don't know. Does the world need another white man with a bike?
And the answer is yes. I think if the last election has taught us anything, it's that people have white fever, orange fever.
Yikes.
Do you think his cum is orange too?
I wanted to make a Cheetos joke, but I enjoy red hot Cheetos, flaming Cheetos, sorry. And let's just move on.
4 more years, baby. We just gotta get through the next 4 years.
We can't enjoy too much happiness because then the reality sets in again, and it's like,
yeah.
Celebrate for what? Climate change. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
War, inflation. Job security.
Speaking of inflation, my pants are getting very tight right now. You're beautiful. Can we get some commotion for the dress?
You're welcome.
What a segue.
You're welcome. Well, I saw you picked out your outfit, and I was like, okay, how can I match his fly? So this is what came out of that.
Typically, it's me matching Dominique's outfit because I'm like leaving this at the very last minute. But I picked this out I laid it out like it was the first day of school. Oh.
It's very nice.
I used to be the king of skinny jeans.
Yeah.
Like I liked pants just look painted on me. And judging
you're
by
a
the
millennial.
Comments on TikTok and Instagram, Facebook, everywhere, the letters I'm getting. You know, it's people, that's what they want. They're like, no pants. Or like the tightest pants, like tighter than skin tight pants. That's what people want. That is all you're interested in. I'm certifiably a piece of meat. I will say this, though, on the day of the anniversary of our podcast.
Absolutely.
What a rebrand, you know?
You was a human?
Total loser in high school to like, what am I known for right now? Having a hot wife, being funny, and having a giant dick.
Okay.
That's it.
All right.
That's my brand.
Okay.
Yeah. And being a good dad.
Most people forget, and you get comments that they forgot that you are a dad.
Teen
so
dad.
I don't know if that's your brand. I'm going to be honest.
Because I'm so young, right? You're like,
I don't think that's it.
How could this guy possibly have a kid?
That's not that they hear what you're posting, and they're saying, how can this man be a dad?
I do a good job.
Oh, you're a great dad.
At dadding.
Yeah, I'm very proud of you as my husband, as the father of my child.
Well, yeah. I don't think you'd be here if you weren't, right?
You know, again, we talk about inflation, so I probably would be. But you are a great father. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
You could be a good father, too, if you tried. You know?
Who would I follow?
Just... I was just thinking, you know, we had my dad on the show. Should we give Waldwin a call?
Have you seen him
No.
lately? Where is Waldwin?
Every time I drive by his neighborhood, because there's a Krispy Kreme there, I'm like, oh, I wonder what he's up to today.
You know, I'm sure all of his kids and grandkids say the same, but shout out to him. Shout out to him. This is not about that. This is not about daddy issues and abandonments and thousands of dollars in therapy. This is about celebration.
Yeah.
Just, yeah.
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 I will say this, the getting the train back on the tracks here. What growth we've celebrated. I remember when we first did this, when I remember calling you in a parking lot. My agent at the time, Ryan, was like, "Oi, mate, you guys need to do a pod." He's British. "Oi, mate, you guys need to do a podcast, governor. Oi, bruv."
Governor.
Yeah. And I was like, "I don't think she's going to go for it, dude." And he was like, "Oi, mate."
He just kept saying oi.
In it. I'm like, "Please speak English." She's like, "This is English. It's the Queen's English." And she was alive at the time, so that was correct. I think she was alive.
Yes.
Yeah, a year ago?
Yes.
No, I think the Queen's been dead for over a year.
Oh, well, anyways.
Right?
Shout out to the Caribbean. Go ahead.
Shout out to the Caribbean.
Just like, I'm.
In general.
Yeah.
We stand with the Caribbean.
We still don't put up white fists here. We still don't do that.
Okay. I remember calling Dominique from a parking lot and going like, I was so excited. I was so like revved up. I'm like, we need to do this.
Is that how you refocus, by the way? You just give me a stern look.
I'm really calm. Really calm. The Vyvanse, I can tell it's kicking in. Give it another 10 minutes. If I may, can we order some pizza? We got our editorial coordinator, Chenille, on set today.
Shout out to Chenille. That's another progress, right? Like, we have a team.
We got a business partner.
My God.
Well, you and I always had. Now we got a third. The company is
the third in addition to
shareholders.
You. Yes.
Shout out to Peter. People on, you may remember his ass from my Instagram story the other day. People loved his ass. They loved it.
Shout out to Peter's ass.
Chenille, could you order from Pizzaiolo? Could you get what we ordered last time? The Capri. Get a large one of those, please, and just like a large whatever else. And then you can tell them we'll pay when they get here, and we'll use the corporate card. Thank you. Get it for like 1:00, 1:15 if you can, please. Thank you. What's up?
That's not the first time we've done this, so that's not progress. But we're getting closer to.
We have a team of people they feed.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Absolutely. I'm with you, bro.
But first, let's check in. How you doing?
Wasn't that what we just did?
You got to say it.
Great.
First,
I am absolutely thrilled and proud and excited about 1 year of playing house, and really excited about the future. I'm equally annoyed. That has nothing to do with the podcast. That's just on a personal level.
But your dad again? Jesus Christ.
Nope. No.
Guy walked out 25 years ago. Get over it.
Oh my God. I'm annoyed because it's recently come to my attention that there was someone who, from a previous job.
Yeah.
Well, they're all previous. We do this full time now.
Wait, my job or your job?
Mine.
Okay.
From my previous job, who decided to take to the internet to air their grievances with me. Grievances
with you?
Correct.
And this person is still alive after making that post.
But because so I think we're talking about progress, right? I
did not cut a bitch.
If this was 5 years ago, for example, 10 years ago, my immediate response would have been like, pick up the phone, hop in my car, just approach this person head on, right?
Wow. 5 years ago,
I wouldn't have had a license.
So you would have hopped in an Uber.
I'd get in on the TTC, do whatever I need to do to get to this person, right? And to okay, so you got an issue, let's talk.
You feeling froggy, jump,
Correct, Kolter. But today I was just like, oh, ew, and hit block. You know what I mean? Because, so first of all, I'm learning that they did this probably weeks, if not months ago. I didn't even see it. It wasn't my business. It wasn't my problem. I don't care what they had to say. And then very recently, like this weekend, they rolled up in my DMs, laughing with me and responding to a story. So I didn't even know that they had an issue with me. And then somebody else had to reach out to me and be like, by the way, this person has been talking about you on the internet and has actually spoken to me on the phone about you. I was like, well, that's why. But you're in my DMs laughing. So I think that when I say I'm annoyed, I am very annoyed, but I'm also very proud of myself that I'm finally in the mindset that what people's thoughts of you are not none of your business. Whatever you think about me, not you, you're my husband, that matters. But whatever a stranger or someone, an acquaintance thinks about you is not your business. You do not have to internalize that. You do not have to make that your business. Serpentino?
It's a decaf Nespresso.
Okay.
So
Thoughts?
trying to not have any more caffeine.
Good. And why is that?
My anxiety was really high.
Yeah.
Really high. Not a good move.
You're not supposed to drink caffeine.
No, because of the Vyvanse.
Yeah.
So just like a year of sleeping for 5 hours a night.
Right.
You know?
But that has improved.
That has improved.
Yeah, for the last week.
Last night was also 5 hours, but
What happened last night?
I only slept for 5 hours.
Okay.
Did you only sleep for 5? Did you sleep for 4?
We went to bed at what, 1?
Yeah, we did.
5, yeah.
Just kidding. Dom's on her period. Not a deal for me. Like period. More like a run-on sentence. Because let's go. Not my best work, but
More like semicolon.
yeah, we didn't. Ooh, yeah. That's what you're saying, eh?
Ooh.
Ooh. Ooh. Okay, I like it. That sucks. So what did you do? What you're not going to call this person? You're not going to run up on them? That's also that's so cowardly, man. They have all the balls in the world to talk mess about you, spread lies.
So like, remember when subtweeting was a thing? Like going on Twitter and there's like talking about someone without using like adding them, if that is a verb. Saying
Stop being a
at
pussy.
Kolter, this is what I think of you. But like to go on the internet and to like, I'm not even sure what they said because again, I didn't see it. And whoever reached out to me didn't like reenact it.
It's a good source though.
The
source is not going to lie to you.
But
and
also,
this person's behavior, there's a pattern.
Right. But also like, so this person, they reached out to me to let me know like, yeah, this person is on the internet talking mess about you. And doing it in protection of me, and also it's like in protection of themselves, which like I appreciate and I respect. And I think so. One, if I were to reach out to this person and like acknowledge them, that it would put the other person on blast. And two, it would almost justify or validate the actions that they took. Like you went on the internet and decided to do this very immature thing. I'm gonna be the adult and talk to you and try to make you feel better. Like no, you made your decisions. That's how you chose to behave. I'm sorry that that's the venue that you chose to take.
I'm sorry for your decisions.
Truly. And so for that reason, I'm out.
So let me get this straight. This person is talking mess about you on the internet. Did they mention you by name?
No.
On the internet?
No,
In
they
private,
mentioned
you.
they mentioned the brand apparently.
Right.
Because again, this was my previous employer. So they mentioned the brand and people at the brand and then went on to tell this person, and I met Dominique, who no longer works at the brand. But again, what was the goal? Because I don't work there. So why?
Here was the goal.
What? Why?
And I like this person. I met this person a couple of times.
I quite liked this person. Absolutely.
I think they do good work. I think that they were trying to look good at this company or like ingratiate themselves with the power brokers at this company by stepping on your neck.
And that's a decision.
By stepping on the neck of a fellow black woman.
Whatever.
To appeal to who? White women. God damn it, it's always white women.
Why did you do that?
White women.
Why did you do that? I actually don't even want to give this any more of my time. They made their decision. Shout out to you. I wish you all the best.
Another 20 minutes on it. Come on.
I wish you
just a tight 20.
all the best. And I hope that, you have been able to ingratiate yourself with the brand and you can flourish and can move forward.
Hopefully they got what they wanted out of this.
Yeah.
Because as bad as this is, it would be even worse if it didn't even do what they wanted it to.
Well, and again, because I'm not there anymore. Yeah. So shout out to you. Again, respect the work that you do and hope that you can continue to flourish and do all that you're meant to do, but can do so without my name.
I'm going to report them to the government for something. For legal reasons, that's a joke.
What?
But also, you know what they say? What Michelle Obama said, right? When they go low, we go high. And you know what happens then? 2 back-to-back, almost Trump presidencies.
Yikes.
Not back-to-back. There was a little Biden time in there. But
how are you doing?
I think about that goddamn election every day.
Oh, God.
January 20th is coming, and I am not looking forward to it.
As a Canadian, because I think that, I see a lot of comments.
Stay out of this. It's not your business. It's our
Right,
business.
right. Like, but you're not even American. And then I see the opposite of like, just because you're Canadian doesn't mean that of course racism exists here. Of course, like
That is news to me though. Here? And is the racism in the room with us right now?
I always get just like one of the two reactions, like stay out of it. It's not your business. It's not your country. And then like, basically suggesting that like, yeah, that
it's
Canada
so much better here and that those problems don't exist here. Here's the thing. The American culture dominates the world.
Yeah.
The biggest military, like what the United States wants to do gets done.
Yeah.
And
it's a superpower.
What they want to do right now is a few more racisms, I guess. You know, a few more sexisms.
Which would have happened whether or not he became president or not.
It's going to be worse.
But
though.
exactly. And it really empowers those who align with him or who have the same values or lack thereof.
At least he's hot, though. If there's one thing, at least you have a hot president again. Joe Biden, very young, hot.
Right.
Joe Biden, very old, disgusting, right?
Yikes.
Trump, always hot.
Right.
You know?
In a shriveled Cheeto type of way.
Just like in a general... That's a gets my dick hard. I don't know about you. It's that. It's all that. Yeah. It's just tough, you know? It's... not doing a bit. It's tough.
I know.
It's stressful. I don't like it at all.
Do you think we can end the check-in on a happy note?
He's old, right? He's going to die at some point. Naturally. Natural folks. Causes, for legal reasons, natural causes.
You found it.
Yeah.
The silver lining.
There we go. The orange lining.
So, on this episode, we're talking about 1 year of playing house. Before we get into it, do you remember how we came to the name?
Yeah, we were in a hot tub. We fooled around in a hot tub.
Yeah.
We were trying to come up with a name for this thing. And then I think I came up with it. But we agreed your name would go first. She agreed. Dominique agreed to do the podcast if your name could go before mine.
That's not true.
And that's okay. We literally shook hands on it.
You have often, with working radio, it's a thing. It matters whose name comes first in the show. So that has been something that you have cared about. I have never cared about that.
No, you literally made me shake your hand on it.
Are you sure?
And you do this bit. Dominique always does this bit because there were a couple of times, 10 years in radio, where Dominique would come in, like to host a show with me on Christmas or something like that, Christmas Eve. And she did this bit where she'd be like a radio jingle, right? Like, Dom and Kolter in the morning. So like, yeah, I think it matters a little bit to you. I'm like, just please.
Just to piss you off. I don't actually care.
I'm like, do this with me. It's going to be successful. We can quit our jobs. You're like, only if my name goes first.
I don't care. I promise.
I'll work this job I hate forever. Just put my name first and I'll quit.
Our name isn't even in the show. Anyways.
But how you doing?
You've already asked that.
But first, how you doing?
Okay, so we're talking about 1 year of the Playing House podcast. Can you think of any of your favorite moments?
There was an episode where I was let off the leash for that episode. I think it was the episode about humor. And
you think?
I laughed so hard. I think I had to like turn around in my chair.
We do this sometimes. We actively choose to get undressed when we're having an argument.
I can't look at you. Let's keep doing it. I'm just going to turn this way. Okay.
We actively choose to get undressed when we need to have an argument because it's really hard.
Wait, I didn't think you could see.
Yeah.
That was a great episode. That should be every episode.
Yeah. You said that right after we recorded. You're like, that was the episode. Yeah. What was so great about it?
I could do whatever I wanted.
Right.
You know? Because when we first started the podcast, I'm like, let's just, we did what we did what I think a lot of podcasts do off the beginning, which is something that radio is good at, which is like, hey, we'll take some headlines, we'll talk about the headlines, and then we'll grab some like Reddit scenarios where people are like, am I the asshole? Or like, whatever. And then we'll discuss those. And we did that. And it's like, what's original about that? What's,
What's so special about our perspective there that sets it apart?
There's a million. Listen, there's a million couples on the you know, in the world there's billions, I guess, but you know, there's tons of couples who do this kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of great relationship podcasts that I subscribe to, for example.
What is unique about us?
Exactly.
That's what people want. That's what you want. That was the big discovery. So like we have to, you know, we have to really inject ourselves in there, and there has to be some structure. It can't just be we're going to roll for like an hour.
You fought me on that.
I did.
You fought me on that.
Yeah. And so it's been, I know we're going to talk later on about like specifically about like the lessons we've learned. Mm-hmm. I think for me, like the proudest moment is a series of proud moments. It's whenever we can compromise on something, and not even compromise, but like, because compromise is typically you don't get what you want, I don't get what I want, and we're both a little bit miserable. But compromising in the sense of like we both agree that this is the best move for something. Yeah. And so it's swung a little bit back and forth, but I think we're in a good spot.
I agree. You mentioned that like we had to find what is like uniquely us to inject that into the show, because like there are millions of couples with millions of podcasts. But what do you think that secret sauce is for us? Like how do we inject Dom and Kolter into the show?
I'd say the angle of the cameras and the clothing that you and I wear, mostly.
The angles of the camera.
I think what sets us apart is the fact that we embrace vulnerability. I think, like, we had my dad on a couple episodes ago.
That's crazy.
And like, you two have not always had a great relationship. And I think you were able to like work through a lot in that. Yeah. And like that took balls from him, that took balls from you. I just sat here hoping that you wouldn't align against me, form an allegiance against me.
So, hey, lessons learned on both sides, right? I biggest part for me, and I don't think you're too far. We have the same birthday, by the way, just so this may explain a few things.
Aries,
it all makes sense now, doesn't it?
We are, both of us, extremely stubborn.
Would you say?
I would say. Sometimes you need a little pain in order to end the bigger pain.
Right.
So I think your relationship and my relationship, I think, needs something like that. And I think, and it's going to, again, today is not the day, but we could do another podcast completely solely on that. Is how do you reconcile our points of view? And I think I've described it with Kolter. Him and I, again, differ on a lot of things, but we agree on more than we do.
That is true.
And again, most of the thing, we agree on the end result.
Okay.
We are worlds apart on the path to get there.
But I hate that we're real. We've real conversations.
Authentic.
And we're just like it's just us.
Yeah.
I feel so comfortable doing this with you. I think that's what it is.
But I feel like you would have that with anybody.
But I'm not doing it with anybody else, right? Mm-hmm. Like I did radio for 10 years. I chose not to do that anymore.
Yeah. I think that what's like our secret sauce is that you alluded to vulnerability. Yes. And I think it's also a matter of like we go through it through the episode. Do you know what I mean? Like there have been plenty of episodes where like you can tell in the beginning like we're not doing too well. Like I might be annoyed with you. We might have just had like a little argument right before we hit record, and like you're sensing that in the beginning of the show, and then like we're working it out through the episode. Like it's happening live.
You're the best.
I truly am. You're welcome.
Great. We had a moment earlier where it was a little,
We always get there.
We
We always get there.
We always get to the bad part or this now.
No, to where we need to be.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The show is a direct representation of our relationship. Sometimes we're in a little bit of a rut, but we always get there.
I'd like to be in a rut. Yeah, I hit on you a bunch and you're like, okay, I like him again. He's a good man, Savannah.
What else do we have here? Oh, my answer to the question. So one of my all-time favorite episodes. One, the interracial relationship episode.
That was the season 1 finale.
Yes. And there was a reason why we kept it for the very last episode because...
It's called a tease, idiots.
Because, so we've been on YouTube for a while. Like I started on my YouTube channel back in like 2013. And the majority of the comments and the questions that we would get would be about like the fact that we're an interracial couple, the fact that you're white and I'm black at the end of the day. And people were so curious, like, how did you find each other? Like, what's it like? What's your family like? What did your family think? All that stuff. So, and then even us getting, like you getting on TikTok, for example, a lot of questions. They want to know the whole race dynamic because it's so weird and wacky and crazy that two people who are not the same race would fall in love. So I really wanted to keep that to the end because I didn't want the show to be all about that.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing, okay? I know that I'm invited to the cookout. Like, I know that I've got...
I hate that mentality. I'm so sorry.
I don't.
They just
Please
give away these...
Keep it coming.
These proverbial...
May I? I know that I'm invited to the cookout. Like, permanent invitation, okay?
Y'all did this.
But I also know that I'm not grabbing the mic when I'm at the cookout, right? I know that I'm not bringing homemade food when I'm coming to the cookout.
You're not bringing any food.
Here's what I do when I'm coming to the cookout, okay?
Yeah, let's hear this.
I'm bringing some alcohol.
Yeah.
I'm also bringing some extra napkins, plates, whatever you need. I'll bring some dessert from a supermarket or bakery.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Again,
thank you.
Nothing from my kitchen. Also, I don't cook or bake. And I'm a laugh. Some jokes I'm a not laugh too hard at, right? Not my jokes to laugh at. I'm there to have a good time.
Period.
I'm there to stand aside when need be. I'm there to not dance. I'm there to
when you get enough in you, you're ready to dance. When you kind of gummy or two.
I'm there to crack some jokes. Very particular jokes.
You're the bartender.
I'm the bartender. And like that's my role there. And that's where I'm my happiest. Maybe it should be though. We just like really lean into it, like every stereotype.
Yikes!
I go full custom white man. Yeah, you've been trying to get me to get a chain.
I brought you to get a chain. I think you'd look good at a chain.
I think having I think just having honest conversations about it. And again, like phrasing it like that feels super cringe. Just being together. Mm-hmm. That's the secret sauce.
Yeah, I agree.
It's not performative. It's not. I mean, yet we have a set and we've dressed up for this. Like, yes, in a sense, we are going through some motions, but like, we don't want to necessarily. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. We just need to be like in bed under the covers, and that's it. Maybe that's the set for season 4.
I'm sure Peter is back there very relieved to hear that.
Yeah.
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 Considering how long it takes to set up the staff studio. Yeah. What's a moment from the podcast that still makes you laugh out loud when you think about it?
I mean, me turning around in the chair and like sitting there like a baboon. I think like I laugh every episode. I think there's always like little sprinkles of, of just humor in everything.
Us. Yeah.
Us.
This is
us. Home. Take me home.
Yeah, I agree. It's the humor episode because like I think we went so insider baseball with that episode. Like we were talking about inside jokes that we have. Like it was just, I think it's the most us episode that we've ever had. And
so let me off the goddamn chain.
And we've agreed, right? We've spoken about what the future of the podcast looks like, and we'll get into that because that is one of the questions. But like the fact that you don't want it to be as structured moving forward.
Listen, I'm okay with structure. You need a little bit of structure.
Yeah.
You need structure. You need to paint within the lines sometimes. You need to have a set. You need to take care. You need to make sure it looks good and it sounds good. You need to like beware. Like there's a lot of things you need to do. And I get that. And I like that. But then just like you got to have fun with it, right?
Of course. Are you not having fun anymore?
I'm having tons of fun. Trying to have fun with you.
I got to check in because you said you got to make it fun. So I just want to make sure it is fun.
You want to sit on my lap? Later. It's called a tease. Idiots. Gotta stop calling our audience idiots. God. You're not an idiot. You're very special. We're millennials. Here's a participation trophy.
Do you want to ask me the next one?
No, I like this. I like being interviewed.
Yeah, I've noticed.
Interviewed like hundreds of people. This is nice. This is nice for me.
Which guest or topic surprised you the most in a good way?
Dr. Nadine Persad.
Okay, first of all, time does not heal everything. You don't get over it. How can you get over it? But what you do is you learn how to live with it and you learn how to move through it. So I often explain grief as like glitter. You have a bunch of glitter and you throw it up in the air. And as much as you try to clean up all the glitter, there's always going to be some.
It's everywhere.
Right? And it's like grief. You would
No,
know.
you come home from the club, you're barefoot. I'm like, where are your shoes? You're carrying them. You're covered in glitter.
When's the last time we've been to a club, Kolter?
You've had like you put back a bottle of Alizé. Like it's a
Not
whole.
Honestly, I just thought it was like Nia and glitter at your house.
I thought that's what he's referencing, not
too.
the club.
No, it is this. It is this club rat next to me.
No, you're mad about like 2010. Come on.
I am still mad about
Get
2010.
over it.
She doesn't like being called. Well, she was okay with
Not
the
a
death doula.
but
She's a
not.
palliative doctor.
That word I struggle with, man. I'm not even gonna try it. Palliative.
Nailed
Was
it.
it doesn't sound right.
It's because you don't have confidence in it.
Palliative. Nope.
Just say it quickly and move on.
Palliative.
There you go. Done.
But can you tell what I just said?
Yeah, because I'm using contextual clues.
Okay, go ahead.
She was great. She was a lot of fun. I'm excited to
Yeah.
die.
Oh my.
Like everything's okay, but I'm just like, she seems fun.
No, because the check-in was about how scared and awful you are, and then now you're talking about you're excited for death. Like
No, like not that. Like when it eventually is here, I'm like, there's an orange lining, right?
Oh my god.
And the guy get to kick it with Dr. Nadine for a bit, right? She's funny, kind of cute, Could be worse ways to go out, right?
Shout out to Nadine.
Shout out to Dr. Nadine.
So what was so surprising about that episode for you?
What was so surprising about that for me? Just how, I won't say like full of glitter, although she did call grief
Yeah,
glitter.
Yeah.
It's not that it was full of glitter and she's like, who's ready to line up to die? Hop into my chamber. It was like she here's what it is. When I had cancer, it was really, people would make it weird. And I don't think people are doing it on purpose.
It's weird. Death and being
It is.
close to death is weird.
I just wanted to be treated like a normal person,
Right.
like things were normal, right? And yeah, I look like a thumb. I'm bald and I'm like fat from prednisone and it's a whole thing. And I don't have eyelashes. And so like, yeah, it's going to be a little bit weird, but you can acknowledge that like, hey, how you doing today? Like, you're in pain, whatever, but like, I just want to be treated like a normal human being. And I get the vibe that she does that in her job, like in her day to day when she's dealing with people who are going through like the worst moments of their lives. And she doesn't seem like, and I've never died before, but she doesn't seem like she sugarcoats anything. She seems super empathetic. Yeah. Shout out to my future ex-wife. Ex-wife for the next life. Hey.
Oh my god. Okay. The most surprising episode for me, I think you can guess it.
The humor episode?
Oh my god. The in-laws episode.
Yeah,
the
when
one
my
where
dad
your
joined.
Yeah.
Friend of the pod, Pierre Bouchard.
So he told you originally that he wanted to be on the show.
Yeah, he asked.
Yeah. And then, so I'm behind the scenes, like doing the pre-production in terms of like deciding on the themes and like kind of building out what the episodes look like while you focus mostly on like the beautiful things like
making
production and
beauty look even more beautiful.
and audio and all that technical great stuff. So while I was designing one of the episodes, I'm like, maybe it's time. Like maybe we do bring him on and have an episode about your relationship with your in-laws. And I sent him the questions in advance because I'm like, if it's going to happen, I want us to be able to do this and do this properly, right?
Homeboy came with like an annotated bibliography.
Yo, he was
had
pulling out,
notes.
he was receipts. He's like, and you say this, and you say, and microaggressions, and binary. And I was
He's like, roll the clip. I'm like,
yeah.
he brought his own producer. I'm like, what's going on here?
And so like he shocked me in one having notes, like being really intentional, right? Like I could tell that he wanted to come and have like and like put it all out there. And so I really appreciated that, that he brought his full self, that he wanted to be vulnerable, not only with us, but in front of the audience. Like that takes a lot.
There has to be more of a way forward, and that requires effort on both parties, on both sides, right? It's not a linear thing, or it's not and I'm going to use one of your words here.
Ooh, I'm excited for this.
It's not a oh God, I forgot.
Oh, you have notes.
The guy's got
I'm
notes.
So excited.
No, it's this one I wanted to use it, but now I got to check.
He's got like annotations in there.
It's not binary. right?
Okay.
It's not a binary thing. So,
Whoa, what a woke king over here talking about
I
non-binary.
got to talk. There's a lot of words that I had never heard before, whether it's intersectionality, binary, non-binary. There was another. Oh, my favorite, and you'll know that one. Microaggressions was a thing that. What the heck is that? And so
We go
that
big
was
in
all
this
part
house.
of and that was all part of our maybe not so much miscommunication, but not
Sure.
communicating,
Sure.
right?
It's big.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my dad. What a nice guy.
Shout out to him.
That was also surprising for me. Like I felt really emotional during that one. Like it was wild to hear my dad like compliment me. Not that he like, and he does all the time. My dad, like I very much grew up in a house. We said, I love you. Very supportive of each other. But I think it's different when you're an adult. Like hearing it from your parents when you're a kid, like is the literal bare minimum, you know?
Sure.
But hearing it as an adult, you're like, oh my God.
And also,
I could like beat him up, right? I could never beat him up. Even if like if I worked out for, he's a jacked guy.
yeah.
Super strong. I couldn't beat him up. He could carry me, I bet.
But also like complimenting you as a father, like that's big. Like I don't know if you all have ever had a conversation like that. Like sure you've probably been complimented on like your work ethic and like your schoolwork and stuff like that. But like for you to now be in the driver's seat as the father and to have your own father compliment you on that, like that's gotta be
It's big.
It's gotta be.
Your dad complimented me too.
I hate that that's a joke.
Does he know my name yet?
No.
No. What does he think my name is?
Does he know my daughter's name?
Probably not. Do you know your daughter's name?
Yes, I chose it.
Nia.
Shout out to Nia.
Shout
Who,
out to
by the
Nia.
way,
Oh,
she was
no.
talking to me the other day, and she was talking about what you do for work, and I'm like, well, what does Daddy do? And she's like,
Basement.
basically, and she's like, he does his podcast. I'm like, oh yeah, he does. And what else does he do? And she's like, in cameras, and like she's trying to describe what you do. I'm like, well, what does Mommy do? Mommy cleans, and I'm like, yeah. First of all,
Not true. First of all, inaccurate.
First of all, I
Did
have
she say
a
you
whole
cook too?
10-year career, ma'am. Like, so we had to get into that. And then so she was talking about the podcast, and she's like, yeah, you play house. And I'm like, you know what?
Accurate.
I do.
Accurate.
I absolutely do.
Friend of the pod, Nia Bouchard, our 4.5.
We got to have her on sometime.
I don't know how gripping that's going to be.
I think you'd be surprised.
Episode will be 3 minutes long. Our best ever.
Between you and her, I would not get a word in.
Probably. That's the way it should be.
Yes.
I programmed her.
We're talking about cringiest moments. So what was the moment you
all
wanted
47
to edit
episodes, all 47 hours of
God.
this show. I wanted to edit out my dad complimenting me. It felt...
You being serious?
Yeah, it felt like really raw. It felt... like I take pride in vulnerability, and like I like to express my emotions, but I have difficulty sometimes with people expressing their emotions about me in a positive way. And I think it's because I've been programmed through 10 years in legacy media that the only feedback is just like some cruel, and this is for legal reasons, no boss in particular. They're all great. Just psychological cruelty, emotional cruelty for years. And so it's difficult for me to like have praise heaped on me.
I did not know that that's how you felt about that episode or about that like specific moments in the episode.
Yeah,
I didn't realize.
I was like, this feels like self-indulgent.
Really?
This is in the public record now, and I'm not going to say who said it, but I mean, the comment's still there. It's on the video on Instagram about me getting escorted out of the building.
Yeah.
And someone who felt the need to comment on this video, I pinned
Can
it.
I straight up say?
What are you doing? What are you doing? Cam, when you're editing, edit this out, okay?
Start from the top again.
That. No, just leave it in. Read her lips, I guess. No, blur the lips, Cam. Blur the lips. This person said that my final show was a jerk off. And it's like, oh, because I'm being emotional and I'm like, and not in like a crying kind of way, but I'm being emotionally sincere. So I have difficulty with that sometimes. And that comment really knocked me down a peg. And I shouldn't let it, and I get it, but it's difficult not to. Right? So I have difficulty when I hear other people praising me because it's like, Number one, do they mean it? Because this person had praised me for, months of us knowing each other in whatever capacity that was. So yeah, like that's, it can be difficult. But I'm glad I let it in because I don't want to censor my dad. And I have to deal with that. I do some good work sometimes, and it's okay if somebody wants to shout me out for that. I need to let my dad love me in the way that he wants to love me. And that's how he chooses to do it, and I appreciate that.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
I didn't realize you felt that way. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
The parts of the episodes I wanted to edit out, the first 3 episodes of this podcast.
Welcome to Playing House, the show about keeping your relationship sexy and secure. I'm Kolter.
And I'm Dominique, and we are a real couple who really want you to experience the love that you deserve.
On today's episode, are you the asshole for wanting a child-free wedding? Retailers think we're not buying enough stuff, and a Christian expert says we're bringing back spanking. But first, how you doing this week? Yeah, she wasn't a fan. The first one was called Hood Twins.
And that still bugs me to this day.
Even my agent at the time was like, afterwards, he was like, yeah, like you guys really got it on the tracks. You really figured it out. But like, it's just, I didn't really understand the connection there. I'm like, I don't know.
At all.
Again, doing this for the very first time, and just like, you see what works and you see what we learned a lot of lessons in a year.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. It was like you approaching it from, like you said, from a radio standpoint, right? So you knew like to pull a headline and to make a talking point out of it. Like that's your specialty, right? Versus I come from like comms, brand marketing, PR.
Our legal team won't like this.
Oh, 100%, right? So my thing is like I'm gonna approach everything from like a PR from the brand friendly standpoint.
Gotta go balls deep.
That's another thing. I was still working with a brand, a very, very public brand. I was like, we're going to go on the internet talking about weights?
And apparently you were doing a crap job there, so.
Don't piss me.
Yeah.
According to this singular human.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the first 3 episodes were really hard for me. And I remember like by the 3rd episode, I was like, I don't even want to do this anymore.
Mission accomplished.
And so we were recording them on like a Friday or on a Saturday.
Oh, no. We would record them. I think we released them in the beginning like on a Sunday night.
Right.
Or like and then I pushed it to Monday morning because we would then have to film it Sunday night. We'd have to wait till our kid was in bed.
Exactly.
And then I'd have to build the set.
Yeah.
And then.
Which was our basement, but it was like your workspace. We didn't have a dedicated area at the time.
So I'd have to set that up. And then I'd have to edit it immediately afterwards and then get it out. And like, it's 2 a.m. You're sleeping. And I'm like putting together a thumbnail and I'm trying to figure this out.
Yeah.
And like, oh God, there's a mistake with the audio or whatever. And so it was just like, we just need to get this done because it's 10 p.m. and I want to go to bed before 5 a.m.
Right.
You know?
Right. And then it was hard for me because I was having to relinquish some power that like I'm absolutely not used to, especially when it comes to like content, online content. If it includes me, I'm there. I'm editing. I'm doing like the keyword search. I'm doing the thumbnails. I'm like in it. But it was me being asleep and like Kolter's gonna handle this because I cannot.
Now it's the opposite. I'm like, I'll stay up until 2 a.m. and I'll put the set together and then we'll fix it up in the morning. And then, we'll send off the clips to our editor. And then I'm like, see you next episode. Done and dusted, babe.
Do you remember a time you were caught off guard during a conversation?
Certainly the episode with my father. Certainly that. There have also been a couple of episodes, a couple of moments where, okay, the one episode we talked about, and it was like a 5-minute, just like a small conversation about our daughter starting kindergarten. Mm-hmm. And I started crying, started like weeping like a little bitch because, and I've told this story before, when I had cancer, I didn't think that I would live long enough to see our daughter start kindergarten. She was 6 months old when I got diagnosed. Yesterday, I'm sitting with her and she's doing fine. Like she's giggly and she's excited. And then I said, I want to talk to you for a second.
Oh,
she's looking around and I said, drink it in. And she goes, what does drink it in mean,
No, truly,
Daddy?
what is
And I said,
she's 4.
Pay as much attention as you can today and tomorrow. And just like absorb as much of it as you can. Pay it, like be mindful, be present. I'm saying this in ways that a 4-year-old can understand, I think. And then she's asking why. And I said, because it goes so quickly.
Are you going to cry now? Kolter. Oh. What are the emotions you're feeling right now?
Sadness? What? What are you, blind? I'm a wreck. Diagnosed. Did I say that weird?
You didn't.
When I got diagnosed. When they told me I have cancer. And I didn't think that I would.
By the way.
Yeah. It's been 3.5 years. Didn't think that I'd make it to see her first day of kindergarten. And like, that was super emotional for me. Mm-hmm. You know, it felt like, often I feel like I'm on borrowed time. And that was certainly one of those moments. And that abates with each passing day, right? Where it feels more like, no, like, well, I'm in control as much as a human being can be in control. But I got really emotional about that. And I didn't think that I'd have a moment like that. I thought that I had like thought about this enough and that I had like talked through it enough that I'd be fine. It still caught me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I took a bunch of Xanax before the show, so I don't feel anything right now. For legal reasons and truthful
and
reasons.
For yes.
That's just a joke, but
yeah, the show's kind of been like therapy.
100%.
Yeah.
We also go to therapy.
Multiple.
You have a therapist, I have a therapist. We have a therapist.
Joint
together.
therapists.
Yeah.
We have 3.
Is your therapist hot?
I think she's gorgeous.
Yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. She can be a model. I don't know if she
Wow.
does. Absolutely, yeah.
Need to see a picture of this therapist.
Mm-hmm.
My therapist is not hot.
Okay.
No.
Well,
he's a good dude, though.
What do you call him on the show?
Gary.
Gary, right? Shout out to Gary.
Shout out to Gary.
But not shit. I don't like him.
Shout out to Gary. Gary's gotten me through it.
Well, shout out to Gary.
Shout out to Gary.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Cam, some confetti, a sound effect, and like Gary.
Oh, Lord.
Across the way to go, Gary. Yeah.
Yeah, I've had a moment where I started bawling on camera and did not anticipate it at all. Talking about surprise, surprise, my father.
Not today, though.
Not today.
Nice.
Yeah, there are waves. Sometimes I'm like, yeah.
Then you have a little Xanax for breakfast with me. You're like, yum yum. I feel nothing. And then other days you're like, I feel nothing but rage.
Right. Another time that I've been caught off guard on the show, we spoke about the Dr. Nadine episode where we discuss, like the inevitable with like caring for being a caregiver in your relationship or having aging parents and just like death overall. And it's such a difficult topic. It's such a difficult thing to bring yourself to kind of even start thinking about, right? And so we wanted to really make sure that episode wasn't going to be a downer episode, that we were able to like approach it like us and bring humor. And I think that Dr. Nadine was a perfect person for that because she brought like the knowledge, but also brought her personality to it. And that it was like, it felt like an accessible topic, which was really important.
And of course it's going to be a downer episode. They're putting you down.
Oh my God.
Oh, I guess it wasn't specifically about euthanasia.
Yeah, it was. But it wasn't so much the episode itself that caught me off guard. But like, yes, I learned a lot from that episode, but it was after the episode and like our team, as we were producing it afterwards, we had a really vulnerable moment where we all kind of like agreed like that was a really powerful episode for us on a personal level. Yeah.
A lot of tears.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of tears.
We've had a lot of tears in this basement.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of tears.
Yeah.
We gotta smudge the basement.
We need to sell this house. It's like the house from the Amityville Horror. It just it's haunted. You just need to like set it on fire and move on.
What is that from American Horror Story?
Yeah.
Murder House.
The first season, yeah.
Yeah. Was that the first season?
What's that line from Jessica Lange? She's like, you think there's gonna be a pool? You stupid slut, there won't even be a house.
I was slept through the entire season on your lap. So, most intimate or revealing moments. So, looking back, which episodes do you think revealed the most about our relationship?
The humor episode.
The humor episode.
No, I'm kidding. I think doing 47 episodes was the most revealing part. I think truly though, I think because you can put it on for a day. When I worked in radio, somebody who worked in talk radio, I worked in like music, like rock. He said, anyone can do one talk show. You can show up, you can talk for 5 hours. It's like being able to show up every single day and do it. You can put it on for a day, you can't put it on forever. And I feel like we mentioned other people who do what we do, and shout out to, it's a hard thing. It's not like we work in healthcare where, this is not a backbreaking job, but like it's holding people's attention is difficult.
Yeah.
It's a difficult thing. And it's difficult to like bear yourself emotionally all the time. And it's difficult to, you got a production schedule. Your call time's 11 o'clock. Sometimes it's difficult. You got a life you got to balance. I get it. But I think showing up every single day and doing this, like I'll use my favorite word, real, authentic, raw.
Those are three words. Three different words.
My single favorite word, all of those. You're gonna if it's performative, you're gonna slip up at some point.
Yeah, you can't
right?
maintain that.
You can't.
Yeah, and shout out to you if you can.
No, that you're a sociopath.
Well,
what?
yeah, there are a lot of creators.
None of mine. None of mine.
There are a lot of creators who can maintain a personality and like understanding that that's what they're bringing to the table, that they're acting like this is a character that I'm doing, and when the camera goes off, then I'm me. I think that it's really hard to do that as a couple, or with someone that you trust, that you're partnering with, and trying to maintain that.
Shout out to us for maintaining.
Shout out to us for maintaining.
Not maintaining, thriving.
Hey.
Thrilled and thriving.
Thrilled. I love that. Good. You're welcome.
Cashing big checks. Can we get a big check coming?
2025.
That's another thing. Like in the last year, I credit it to us doing this.
Okay.
And hitting my microphone.
Yeah.
I'm sure that sounds great. We were able to quit our jobs. We were able to launch our business full time.
Pause for a second, because when you finally decided to quit your job, it was because we landed a sponsor for the podcast, no?
Yes and no. I had like a couple of deals that I was working on.
But that was the tip. That was the
I closed
tipping point.
2. The reason that I quit my job, a full-time job, was because I just didn't want to do 80 hours a week anymore. I didn't feel like I had the same creative opportunities at work that I used to. And I needed to find those creative opportunities for myself. And I still need to put limits on that. And I need to be firm about having evenings with my family, having weekends with my family. And there are going to be busier seasons. And I'm shooting a documentary at the end of June, which we'll talk about that in a sec. And then we've got a trip to Istanbul later this year.
I mean, we're not going to give away the whole damn cow. We're going to keep some.
Sure. I'll stop there. But the point I'm trying to make is we have to make sure that we're working to live and not the other way around.
Yeah. Okay.
One was they wanted podcast style clips.
Right. Okay.
And the other one was deal I had landed producing a podcast for a client.
Right.
Lake Ridge Health Foundation in Oshawa. That's the hospital where I got my cancer treatment. Those guys saved my life. We've been working with them for a couple of years now. I host anything they need me to do, I'm happy to do. And we are so fortunate to have partnered with them on a really cool project. It's a kind of a first of its kind in the country in healthcare, and I'm really, really excited. We're a couple of months away. I think we're about a month away from launching this thing. Yeah. And so it's really, really cool. And I've been able to just bring this vision to life, which is amazing. So those two things, I was waiting to do this, and I was really stressed out at work. And I mean, I originally was this will be extra money. This will be great.
Sure.
With the stress I was experiencing at work, though, I'm I need to financially support myself.
Of course.
Had made that decision, and it was a matter of, okay, when can I keep paying my mortgage and keep feeding myself and my family, and also quit this thing that's killing me, right?
Right.
I was having panic attacks all the time, and it was then I was able to replace my salary for a year. And I'm okay, we got a year to figure this out. And figure it out we did.
And that was the first quarter. That was March, wasn't it?
February of last year.
So the beginning of the year. And you had already secured something that was going to replace your salary for the year. So That's incredible.
And I don't think if I was as stressed out as I was at my job, if I would have been motivated to do that.
Oh, absolutely. Of course
Right?
not. Of course, like it's security, right?
Yeah.
Like, let's be honest. When you're working for yourself full time, nothing is promised.
No.
Like you need to constantly. We're like freelancers, for example, entrepreneurs. You're constantly looking for your next job.
Yeah.
Right. So, but when you enjoy it and it's actually fun
Sure.
and it's something that you don't mind putting in that extra work for, like it's worth it.
It's validating.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
To be clear, though, the thing that was finally like, dude, you need to get the hell out of here. I had a panic attack in the parking garage at work. Valentine's Day. I'm like, I know I can't do this anymore. I'm gonna have a heart attack at work. And that
You
was
used to
like
go
the
to the
second or
hospital.
third. It was a second or third a severe panic attack I had at work, and I'm like, this is not for me. So we secured some bread, and in addition to that, we've been able to shoot a documentary this year. We're going through the final revisions right now. We've had a couple of other sponsors. We got some other deals we're really excited to talk about pretty soon, and it's been so fulfilling. And we have our single. I'm gonna try speaking again. We have our single biggest check coming in very soon, and I'm not going to be gross and like talk numbers and stuff like that. But it's
We're also Canadian. Like we don't do that.
There's no racism here.
What? What?
It's Canada. There's no racism in Canada. Or In-N-Out Burger. It's fucking racism and In-N-Out. It's the two fucking things.
The second one is actually true. Yes,
Yeah.
there's no In-N-Outs.
But that's incredibly validating. And I'm like, bitch, we did it.
Absolutely. And listen, again, going back to that first conversation, I was like, why does the world need another podcast, let alone a relationship podcast?
Yeah.
Like, and I wanted to frame this podcast as, we don't know what we're doing. And you're like, no. Not at all.
need to show up.
Absolutely. That's the thing. Like you kept saying, like, we need to commit. Like if we have been at this for, at the time, like 9 years, how do we make it to 9 years? What have we learned? Let's put that on the table. And I was like, well, yeah, I'm an expert in my own relationship. And you're like, okay, let's ride that.
That's
then.
what
like,
people
that's
want.
what we are. And so it was giving myself the permission to be like, I don't have to be an expert in your relationship or go around telling people like, here's how you save your marriage. But I can say like, here's how we have saved ours multiple times, for example, or like tricks that we use to like keep the flame after like postpartum depression. How do we, after cancer, you know what I mean? Like, how are we still keeping it sexy and how are we still secure with one another?
I never got laid more than any other time in my life. Good Lord.
No.
Oh my God. Orange lining.
Oh my God.
It's an orange lining.
Okay, so wrapping things up and looking into the future, what do you see for the future of this? What do you want for the future of the show?
I want to grow it. I want to grow its online presence. I want to take it on tour. I really want to take this on tour. I want to do my goal for 2025 is to do a couple of ticketed events.
Okay.
I would also love for us to grow this. Like we have an enterprise, which is our business, which is all of the things we do. But I want to grow this specifically as an enterprise where we have retreats. This is sounding very culty, which is the goal.
We have a sponsorship from Kool-Aid.
Yeah. I want to I want to have ticketed events. I want to have like a retreat that we do, maybe like a couples retreat that we do a couple of times a
love
year,
that.
where it's like a weekend at a convention center or
Have some
something like that.
ayahuasca.
I don't know if you're doing a bit, but like, yes, please. And I wanna release a couple of products as well. I want to release something that you've been really passionate
Don't
about.
talk
for a
about
while.
it yet.
Let me
Yep.
talk about it. And this is something that I am going to briefly talk about. I've got a literary agent. I've submitted a sample chapter for a book. We see where it goes. And
It's happening. We're just not going to give you too much before it's there.
Listen, it's
happening.
I'm really happy with the sample chapter. It will be great when I can finally like give you a little teaser of that.
Yeah.
And I think what we should do is we should film me like I should be reading it.
Oh, you need to have an audiobook, obviously.
And I come on. I was a professional. I did like voice work for 10
Why
years,
wouldn't
right?
you read the book?
Well, radio, voice work, whatever, but yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And we'll stage it so that I'm like looking a little slutty, you know?
Oh my God.
It's way sluttier than this. Come on. I look like Billie Eilish right now.
Oh my God. Shout out to Billie Eilish.
Shout out to Billie Eilish. Me. Billie Eilish.
Y'all could be related.
I don't think I'm cool enough for Billie Eilish. And I'm okay with that.
The whole family's cool though.
Yeah. I interviewed the brother, Phineas.
Really?
Years ago. Yeah, at the Edge.
He wrote one of me and Nia's favorite songs.
What is it?
Never met nobody.
From Turning Red.
Like you thought I was going to talk about Barbie.
No.
Turning Red.
Yeah, Billie Eilish. Oh, they're writing partners, right?
Yeah, they wrote that
they
song
seem
together.
really cool.
They're so cool.
Yeah, good for them. Good for us.
Good for you.
So success for me looks like us continuing to have fun. That's what success looks like. What I want, what the goals are, to grow it, to take this on tour, to release some products, and the book, which we did a take of this earlier, which we had to remove. So I had some details in there, but I guess
Nope.
there we are with that. What about you?
We're closed lips about that one.
What do you want?
I keep saying this, Studio 2025.
We need a studio space.
We are recording this in our basement, which is amazing. And having this space available is so cool. But, you know, it often overflows into my living room. And we got a 4-year-old. And it's not sustainable. And it's not, like, we want to scale. We want to get bigger. We want to go bigger and go harder. And so we're going to need a larger space for that.
I want to buy a studio space.
Oh, I'd love that. And
I
to
would
be able
love
to
to.
like give other creators a space to create their own things and to like host their own workshops and stuff. Oh.
I can't look at him because he's he's off stage right now. But it's a hard sell with Peter, our business partner. I keep going on like, don't look at him. Don't look at him.
He's looking right at us.
His vision is based on movement. Don't move.
Okay.
Okay.
I looked.
Don't look. Don't
It's
do
very
it.
Don't.
Don't. He's probably smiling. Is he smiling?
Yes.
Okay, I'm blinded by the lights over here. I'm like, let's buy something. He's like, he doesn't want to lease something because he knows a lot. Well, he knows a lot about everything, but
Everything.
he like knives. Tell you a million things about
Cheese,
knives.
champagne.
Yeah, everything. And he also knows a lot about commercial real estate. And he's like, you're locked in for a 5-year lease. I'm like, I don't want that. You pay this rent for years and then you don't even own it afterwards.
Yeah,
I want to
yeah.
own something, but we need like $2 million, which is
So-
why we're launching that OnlyFans.
Exactly. Which
Dude.
brings us to.
Here's the thing. I'm not saying no to it.
I've never said no.
We would clean up.
I'm just saying no right now to sexual content. Like I'm not.
Who says it's sexual?
Though that's the thing. And I think that that's what people want. So when they say make an OnlyFans, they don't mean instead of Patreon, go on OnlyFans.
They want to watch us
mean,
bang?
I think so, my
I
love.
can't show you that.
I'm not doing that.
We need a really. I don't think they've made a lens wide enough. For that. No, if they can fit Dread on the lens, they can fit me on a large camera sensor as well. It's fine.
But yeah, so I would love to have a studio space. I'd love to be able to like give other creatives opportunities that we would have loved starting out.
But we're gonna put our own oxygen masks on first.
Okay.
For the first time in our lives, we're like, we're enjoying some success. This is great. Let's hoard a little bit of it.
Well, no, I never want to do that. And then we get a lot of DMs, we get a lot of comments, we get a lot of emails, people just like expressing the impact that the show has had for them. And it's crazy to think that like us sitting right now, it's 4 of us in our basement, sitting here kind of feeling like we're talking to ourselves, and then hearing people across the world like that they listen to us during their commute to work in the morning, for example, or like the late shift in South Africa listening to us. And like the fact that we can have that
Or
impact. Maggie.
Yeah. Did I pronounce it right?
It's Maggie.
Maggie.
It's spelled like Magai.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But French. So,
Oh.
yeah. They posted. This is so cool to see. They posted a story the other day, and there were other ones that I didn't click the hidden tab, and so some people were like, "Congrats!" And you could tell that it says like this post is no longer available or whatever.
Right.
But I did see theirs,
Yeah.
and it was really awesome to see.
We were in their Spotify
day one.
Wrapped.
Yeah.
Yeah. That like we were in one of their top 5 podcasts.
Number
for
2
the year.
position, but it is what it is.
I saw another one where we were number 4 and I was like, what happened there?
Number
But
4?
I know, right? Like, how dare you even tag me?
You're
in
not
this?
even allowed to listen anymore or watch. No, watch.
No, but that's
Get
sick.
them YouTube numbers up.
Because at first we were like, how do we even get on Spotify? I think we have 2 shows on Spotify right now. We still got to clean that up.
You gotta
like-
take care of that. That's not me anymore.
Chanel, please write this down because we got to fix this.
Yeah.
But
Couldn't be me.
having that reach and being able to impact people and like hearing from people like will follow up on their mailbox question and saying how that helped them or like did not and they
Yeah.
just found it funny. Like that's really cool. I'm hoping that we can continue to curate a community and have like real in real life impact.
That was my stomach. I'm very hungry.
All right.
So I love you lots. This is great. Shout out to you. Shout out to the pod.
Shout out to you. Thank you for starting this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shout out to the team. Shout out to Peter. Shout out to Chanel. Shout out to Cam. Shout out to Kyle, who helped bring us through season 2, for example. Shout out to every guest we've ever had and will have coming on soon. Bigger and better is the goal. Thank you so much for watching for the past year or for the past episode if you're new here. We really appreciate you.
$2 million, I think. And we don't even need all the money. I just want to I want to put 50% down, right? Like, I need $1 million to make the studio happen. Just as a down payment. DP. That's what DP stands for.
Oh my God. Did you want to put your Venmo in? We're Canadian. We don't have this. Gonna make a Venmo?
I was going to say mail me a check. Canada Post is still on strike, so.
We can't even give you our P.O. box.
No. Okay.
So
Well,
please add us to your prayer list. I don't know what
your
else to
prayer
do.
chain, your email chain, whatever. Follow this woman at dom.creates on Instagram, at domcreates, no dot everywhere else. I am at Kolter Talks everywhere except Snapchat, because there's another
Snapchat.
there's another account called Kolter Talks. But I searched it, I couldn't find it.
He is Kolter Bouchard on Snapchat. So find that. Thank you so much for watching.
You're great. I love you.
I love you.
Show me your tits.
See you next Monday.